welcome back to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. We are here to go over the Housewives of Rhode Island, our newest city added to the franchise. This is season 1, episode 2. It was titled Ocean State of Affairs. Ciao. This is going to be, so far, it seems like this was a good addition. I'm more entertained by these Housewives than I was by Salt Lake City when they were new. Salt Lake City took a while and needed scandal to get relevant. These ladies don't seem to need as much, but welcome into everybody who's here. I do hope that you consider liking and subscribing. If you're watching us when we're no longer live, shout out to you, the replay gang. You do help keep the channel going as well. Let's get into the chat because I know that Shani is here. She's one of our moderators and also one of our day one subscribers. We appreciate her a great deal. Happy to see you here, Shani. She said you should eat first, twin, before you start this live. Take your time. I'm not hungry. I'm actually not hungry at all. So it works out. And honestly, in my opinion, there's not really much with this live specifically to talk about, but it's definitely going to set us up for an interesting season. Before we start it, though, please tap into the links in the description of this video. Co-hosts that I work with regularly, such as Watch Your Mouth Reviews, as well as other great content creators that also cover this show, such as JB Says What, Kiwan JTV, Sandra P, Gen X, and more. But y'all, this episode starts with Liz. Liz, I want you to stop getting plastic surgery because you look like Dolores in the face, but your titties looked horrible. They don't move. They're separate and you're orange. People are not orange. The tanning is not working. Cannot with this. Cannot. Hi, Naya. She says, I wanted to show love real quick. I didn't watch the episode yet, but I did see the first, so I'm going to be on the replay gang. No worries. The replay gang, that be where most of the views come from anyway. We appreciate anybody for rewatching us. Thank you. And happy Monday, girl. But Liz, we get to meet her stepdaughter, one of them. She's 25 and she's pregnant with her first child. This is a big deal for Liz's family because this is going to be the first grandchild in their family. I am curious because Liz says that when she met her husband, he had his kids already. They were younger. But the thing with her husband is Liz never had her own kids. And she says that the kids had to come and live with them full time around the time that they first got married. But she didn't really give details into why. And I'm kind of like, what happened with the mother? I kind of remember, what is it? John and Rachel Fuda from Housewives of New Jersey were new, the first millennial housewife, Rachel Fuda. But they had custody of John's kids and Rachel was very involved with them. And you know, we didn't really learn much about why the mother wasn't around until a couple seasons. So I'm like, maybe there's a reason. Maybe they don't want to speak about it on camera. I'll respect it because that lady's not here. And if the daughters talk about it, that's fine. But I kind of respect Liz and her husband for not mentioning why the mom is not in the life. But the daughter's about to have a kid. And I guess for some of them, they're like, oh my God, this is like a big deal. But for the most part, I like that about Italians and their sense of family over on the East Coast. From what I've seen on television, they seem to really come together and support each other for big, you know, family events and whatnot. Yes, please. Thank you, Naya. I hope everyone does consider liking the video. Shani said, I still don't know these chicks' names and I didn't finish the episode. That's why I wanted you to go eat first. It's okay, Shani. It's okay. You can always engage in the replay gang. I always respond to comments. My phone is never too far from me. But that's all we really got from Liz. We then see Ashley and Joellen take their kids to the park. I love seeing housewives that are actively in housewife status. All of these women are married. All of these women, for the most part, also have jobs or businesses. And all of these women seem to have kids, like at least somewhat in the same age range. But Ashley was on The Bachelor. She's new to Rhode Island. She's only there because that's where her husband's from. And she says that there's been rumors going around about Joellen being a bitch. So she was a little like kind of about going to kick it with Joellen because of that. But she says that she's genuinely surprised by how nice Joellen is to her, which I know it's too early to judge Joellen, but I'm kind of like, it seems like multiple people are saying that she's really nice and then turns on them. Joellen, what is your sign? It's given Gemini, Aquarius, or Scorpio. It really is, because it sounds like everyone's describing her as being two-faced. But I do respect Ashley for saying that she's heard like a lot about Joellen that's not the best, but still being willing to give people a shot. Like, take what you hear and keep it, to heart, so you're not, thrown off guard or nothing by her behavior, but also give her a fair shot, because she may have been awful with other people, but great to you. You never know. Everyone's different. I'm just saying. I'm sorry, y'all. Choking on air. But Ashley moves to discuss her own situation in her own life. Ashley feels a lot of stress. She actually gets emotional again, discussing her husband. And the reason she feels this way is because she says that her husband's been like really dark and moody since having his business. And he really wants to like make a name for himself, make money, support himself, and just be in a space of success. It does take time, but it sounds like Ashley wears her partner's feelings, like she takes them on. Like if her husband seems dark, then suddenly she's dark. If he's not in a good mood, then she's in a bad mood. I don't think that's healthy. If I'm being honest, like sometimes my husband has his ladylike moods and I just kind of ignore them. And sometimes I get in moods and he probably just kind of ignores me. Like if you live with a person, you're going to have to see and be on that emotional roller coaster to a certain extent. Doesn't mean she's not struggling with it, but I really think she's just struggling with all the kids, her business, new city. She's got a lot at one time that's happening. So I can understand her stress, but I'm also looking at Ashley like there are women out there with less money, no man, more kids. I'm going to need you to get a backbone a little bit, Ashley. I'm going to need you to grow up here, because I know you stressed, but talk to somebody. Crying to a woman who you say you've been told isn't so nice, I don't think it's a smart move. But not much came from that. But Ashley's crying did kind of throw me off, because I was kind of like, oh, why are you crying? But I get it. Everybody's different. Moving forward, beautiful people, Kelsey and Liz, they go out to eat together. And this is where we meet Rulala. But I know her name is Rula, but I just want to call her Rulala because it's so much funner. But Rula asked about the 4th of July party that we saw in the first episode at Joellen's house. And Rula wasted not a moment of time. I mean, Rula wasted no time letting us know that she do not mess with Joellen. She doesn't like her, doesn't care for her, and is connected to her husband. Rula also makes sure that everyone knows that Joellen is not as nice as she tries to make herself seem. This is now a 3rd person or 4th person of this cast saying that. Who said this about her? Rosie has said this about Joellen. I believe not Alicia. Was it Alicia? I'm still learning their names. It might have been Alicia said it. Then we have, now we have Rula. And I'm just like, my goodness. And Ashley said it too. I'm like, that's 4 people. So everyone feels like Joellen's some type of a bitch to a certain extent. So that makes me believe that there's some truth to these statements about her. And I'm waiting to see when she'll switch. Because right now I see her as being messy and two-faced, but I can't quite say that she's just like a bitch in everything that she does and how she moves. But the tea is that apparently there are rumors all over Rhode Island about Rula's husband and him having a mistress. These rumors have been going on before this show started filming. The rumors, because Rhode Island is small and they keep making it seem on the show like they're the only place that has rumors. Like places big have rumors that spread too, but okay, Rhode Island. But the rumors about Rula's husband turned out to be true, because Rula's husband did cheat on her with the mistress. And the way that we know this is true, as well as Rula knowing it's true, is because there was a photo of him kissing his mistress that popped up on the internet somewhere. And Joellen called Rula to let her know about the mistress and to send her the picture, because Rula was like, I want the picture, please send it. Joellen sent the picture, which was the right thing to do, in my opinion, if she asked for it. But then the part that Rula is upset about, from what I could understand, is that Joellen shared this picture with people in the group in addition to sharing it with Rula. I do feel like that is shady, to share a picture of the woman's husband cheating on her with the group, especially after you've already talked to the woman and gave her the picture and you know that she's embarrassed. I just feel like woman to woman, even if your husband's not cheating, Joellen, you should have known that that was uncouth and not okay to do. But at the same time, I'm looking at Rula and I'm like, you could have just left it as I'll never trust her or talk to her about anything again. Or you could have just said, and she's not a girl's girl. To take it to the extent that we learn it went to later on in the episode, I didn't think was so necessary. But ladies, if you ever deal with being cheated on, your problems with your partner, not the woman they cheated with. Unless that bitch is stalking you, calling you, and doing the most, your problems with your partner, not the other woman. But Rula does have a right to be upset that someone went and shared a painful part of her life with other people. And for what purpose? Obviously, Joellen just shared the picture with other people to gossip because you had already shared it to Rula. So, Joellen, you messy. I can see why they say what they say about you, because Joellen seemed like the type of chick that can dish it out, but she can't take it. That's what I'm getting from her. But Rula is discussing how hurt she was with Joellen, with Kelsey and Liz. And Rula mentions to Liz that, you know, she's trying to work past it with her husband. And Liz kind of makes some comments concerned if she, you know, her friend should be trusting this man so soon. And Rula shut Liz down by saying, don't forget, didn't you and your husband also have issues like us? I said, Rula, I was on your side at first. But just because someone says something you don't like about your situation, which is a current topic that's being discussed, doesn't mean you have to air out Liz and her husband's relationship. Now, I'm sure it would have come out, but what if it wouldn't have? And this isn't about Liz and her husband. It's about you and yours. Just saying. So I felt like, okay, Rula, you got to relax, boo. You coming in hard. But she makes a comment to Liz also, because Liz is like, oh, that's true, and this and that, but you could still move on. And Rula's like, yeah, well, it's different when you actually have kids with the person you're married to. Which at first I was like, huh? And then after they continued on, I was like, oh, Liz does not have kids of her own, which is something that I was wondering about when we first got the premiere. She doesn't have any children of her own or with her husband. So Rula making that comment was kind of a dig. It's not different when you have kids. People with kids just like to tell themselves that to make themselves feel like they have an excuse to stay with someone they shouldn't. But it doesn't change anything. If the relationship is toxic and it's not working, you break up. Kids or not. And if you don't break up because of the kids, then that's not because of the kids. That's on your dumb ass. Like, that's how it works. That's how it works. I don't know why people with kids be acting like it's stopping them from a breakup. It's not. Go to court, go through what you got to go through. If you want to get away from people, you can get away from people. You just got to be willing to deal with the sacrifice or consequence that sometimes comes with being away from them. But, you know, I digress. But that's all that happened from this scene, you guys. I hope that everybody watching the replay, I hope y'all are enjoying so far. I do appreciate everybody for watching and tuning in, especially those that consider liking the video or subscribing. We now get more into Alicia. She goes by to see Kelsey. And I really like Alicia because she totally gives Rhode Island. I agreed with Kelsey in that, from how she speaks and all of that. Kelsey lived in this house alone. And I saw the picture of her boyfriend on the internet. He's not even that cute, but I would kiss him too, Kelsey, based on what he got. But she lives in the house alone for 6 months out of the year. And the only person that lives with her in the home is the house lady. And Alicia. Now, Rhode Island is small, and Alicia is truly Rhode Island, to where they say that she doesn't like highways, which is crazy to me, She says that she ran a woman over and somehow still has her driver's license. You ran over a person and you have a driver's license. And I never understand people that are like, I could drive, but I don't like the highway. If you can't drive on the street and the freeway, then you don't need to have a license. You don't. You just don't. And I'm wondering who gave Alicia a license, and it makes me worry to drive on the East Coast because what? We just running over people? And even when she merged lanes on the TV, I was like, girl, where's your blinker? What are we doing? What are we doing? I just cannot. Right. Shani said, how do you admit that on TV that you ran a lady over? And she was so like nonchalant about, oh yeah, I've ran a lady over before. Bitch, what? Is she all right? Did she live? Like, what is going on? Alicia's funny. She's funny. But they discussed the 4th of July, and Alicia lets Kelsey know that she meant no harm by some of the questions that she was asking and was truly just being nosy. The two discuss Rula. Not much came out of this scene. It seems like Alicia likes Rula. It doesn't seem like many people dislike Rula, but Alicia seems to really like Rula. Seems like Alicia's also known Rula for a good amount of time. So they're just showing us how Rula connects to things, but that driving, get it together, Alicia girl, because you making us all nervous on the road, just praying that you not on it. You got us all a little bit nervous, just a little bit. And I find it interesting, Kelsey, that you're so okay with Rula, but you're best friends with Joella. And I feel like that's going to become a problem later on. But for now, I will digress. I will digress. Now, we get to Rula's segment where we really get to get introduced to her. Her home is beautiful. She says she was born in Providence, Rhode Island. And she lives in an upscale town in Rhode Island called Lincoln. She says that it's much better than Cranston, which is where Joella and a couple of the other ladies live. And she also lets us know that she is one of the only female boat captains in Rhode Island. I feel like if you live near water, boating should be a part of the culture. Like Chicago's summer boat culture is a thing, and they're right there on Lake Michigan. You got the boats out there on Rhode Island. You got Jersey Shore and their boats. Like, I feel like if you buy water, there should be boating activities. I'm from California. There's water everywhere. So it's just, I can't help but to feel that way. But she also runs her own financial planning firm, which tells us she's highly educated and smart. And she is married to a podiatrist that she's been with for 12 years. He's a cheating feet doctor. And I'm like, she made a comment about her husband. I was like, is this why he cheated? Because she was like, you know, my husband, he's not the tallest guy. He's not the most handsome, but he checked 1 out of the 3 boxes that I required. So you settled? Maybe he senses that, and that's why there's cheating and stuff going on. I don't know. We also learned that Rula's husband is Italian, and she is of Lebanese and Syrian descent. I believe Dorit Kemsley from the Housewives of Beverly Hills, one of her parents is Lebanese. And she has some random accent no one understands. But here is Rula, who is also that and has no accent. But I digress. If I ever got hit by a car, it was me. He ran me over, even if it was not me. I hope to never get hit by a car. And it be happening a lot, especially in the city. My apologies, San Francisco, as you guys know it. It be a lot of people getting hit by cars, especially these dumbass bikers in California. They like to drive out of the bike lane and into the regular lanes. And for whatever reason, they put up their hand signals afterward. And it's like, you almost killed yourself and others. Do better. Shani said, how Ronnie from the movie The Players Club say, you couldn't pay me enough to smell motherfuckers' feet all day. Okay. But he's a podiatrist. Podiatrists make good money. Podiatrists and acupuncturists make really good money. And going to an acupuncturist or a podiatrist a lot of times will do a lot for your overall health, because apparently our feet and getting the acupuncture, it helps with a bunch of stuff, releases toxins. My nail lady's husband does acupuncture, and I'll be like, oh, okay. I think he want me to come to him one day, but I'm not ready for all of that yet. She said, doing stupid shit and bicycle in traffic. Don't blame me when I tap the back of that wheel. They always do. They always do. That's why I keep the extra bike stuff on my car insurance, because I don't have time for that. It's like a thing here in California. It irks me. But the ladies are going to be going to a winery. This is going to be a Kelsey ran event. And for whatever reason, Ashley showed up dressed like she was ready to play Dungeons and Dragons or do a show at the medieval times. My goodness. I didn't understand what she was wearing. Maybe she's a gothy type of girl. I don't know. But it was just a strange thing to wear to a winery. A spring dress would have worked. Girl, you could have went to Ross and got you one of this spring dress for their sales. You didn't have to do this, but I'll accept it, Ashley. We've seen you crying about your kids and your husband and whatever else you crying about that you ain't told us about yet. So obviously she's going through something. But at this event, it seems that the consensus amongst the group is that Joellen is the problem. Everyone continues to say she's mean and seems to worry when she's coming to an event and certain people are there. Now, Kelsey pulls Joellen aside as the group moves through the winery to go to eat their lunch. And she lets Joellen know, because Kelsey and Joellen are supposed to be best friends, that Rula is going to be coming to this event. Joellen feels like she wasn't wrong to share the photos of the picture of Rula in the group. And Joellen gives us some more background to this photo being shared. She basically says that she doesn't see it as a big deal that she shared this picture with the group because of the fact that the picture originally came from the internet. The mistress in the photo shared the photo herself, because that's what side bitches do. They get mad that they went in as the side piece. They demand to become the main piece. And when he doesn't do that, they're baffled and they got to get back at him. So Joellen feels like because the picture was shared by someone else on the internet and was already public, that she wasn't doing anything wrong. I'm going to call bullshit on that, Joellen. You know that you were wrong. Just because the picture was already on the internet, now you've made sure that people who had not seen it on the internet have now seen it in person because of you. Rula didn't get to discuss this, defend herself, none of that. You brought it to the group after you had already shared it with Rula. So what was the point in bringing it to the group? What was the purpose in sharing the photo, Joellen? It had to have been to laugh or to make fun of her or to have something to gossip about. And you would want to be quiet and be cool and work on good karma, Joellen, because the way you got your husband is questionable at minimum. It really is. But, you know, in addition to explaining why she feels she wasn't wrong, Joellen also says that Rula and her husband crossed the line for how they handled her sharing the photo. So Rula and her husband, according to Joellen, called her job pretending to make fake complaints about her because she's a rep girl or something in pharmaceuticals. And Joellen took that personally because she was like, they tried to get me fired. They tried to play with my money, which plays with my kids and my husband and my household, because we learned that Joellen pays all the bills in her household and her husband just pays the mortgage. Fine, realistic, you know, get together. But baby girl, if you would have minded your fucking business and didn't share the photo, then they wouldn't have called your job. All you have to do is share it with Rula. Now, I got Joellen's ass together because she was wrong for that. Rula, just because she did that did not warrant you going for her place of employment. I think that's weird to call somebody's job. That's hella weird. Like, how much time do you have on your hands and how upset are you that you did that? You should have called your husband's job. Okay, that's whose job you should have called, because you're essentially mad at this woman for sharing a picture with people, but the picture would not exist, baby girl, if your husband did not cheat on you. Your problem is at home, not so much outside. Now, if she would have said Joellen kept sharing the picture, then I would have been on Rula's side wholly. But just off the fact that she shared it with this friend group that's going to be on the show, and just off the fact that your husband is the reason the picture even exists, you can't get mad at any other factors. And Joellen is one of those other factors. Let me know to the replay gang if you guys feel the same or if you feel differently. Because to me, I'm like, yes, Joellen was wrong to share that photo because she was obviously doing it from a place of pettiness and to be a messy, gossiping bitch. However, she at least gave the photo to the person who it could have hurt. and she did not continue sharing it. Now, she was going all over Providence, all over Cranston, all over Lincoln, Rhode Island, sharing this photo, fine, but she didn't. So it's like, yell at her, tell her she was messy, call her out about that, move on. And again, your problems with your husband, not Joe Ellen. You chose to stay with a man that cheated on you publicly. This picture, and then you came on a reality television show after. This picture will forever be floating around. It could be 5 years later, and this picture could still come up on the internet. Everything on the internet's forever. If you choose to accept and take someone back for cheating, you have to also accept and understand that you're not just taking your person back for cheating, you're accepting whatever comes with that, which sometimes is rumors, public humiliation, embarrassment. That's why I say I ain't too strong to be able to put up with that shit. But Rula, you chose to forgive your husband. So address your husband. You could have a storyline trying to work past your cheating and forgive it with your husband and not even entertain these bitches. Like, Rula has storylines in every direction, as quiet as it's kept. But instead, she chooses to go off about, you know, this photo. So, hot mess express, hot mess express. So Joellen gets to the table because we learned all of that just from her talking to Kelsey with them, you know, Kelsey preparing her that Rula will be there because there are name cards where each person will sit. And they get to the table and Rula FaceTimes Kelsey in full glam in a baseball cap talking about, I was at the urgent care and yeah, I'm just not going to be able to make it. Rula, you wasn't that urgent care girl. You just didn't want to be around Joellen. Because I feel like Rula also knows that her problem should be with her husband. She has a right to feel mad at Joellen, yes, but her problem is primarily with her husband. So I feel like she don't want to get called out or reminded of that, so she avoided it. But I'm like, dang, girl, if you're doing this season 1 of a new show, what will Rula do in like season 3 or 4 of Rhode Island if it makes it? Is this going to be how Rula handles conflict on reality TV, just avoiding events? Because if so, bravo, please get rid of her. Please do. Because we don't need no more Portias. We don't need no more Heathers. We don't need no more people that run from conflict instead of just being accountable and dealing with what they got to deal with. And Rula's given that so far. I'm just saying. But it could just be me. It could just be me. Also, Liz, why the hell did you order a roast beef sandwich and then say, but I really don't think I want the bread? And you saw the cameraman kept putting the camera on her because they put a piece of lettuce down and some roast beef on top of it and some condiments and said, here's your sandwich with no bread or lettuce wrap. And she picked that and ate that roast beef. Now, a lot of people stay in shape by going on like protein Atkins-like diets, but not with no roast beef. All them carcinogens that be inside of a sandwich meat? Absolutely not. But you know what? The colorless gonna eat like the colorless eat, okay? They don't season their food, and apparently they don't like bread with their sandwiches. I don't know. But after everybody eats and they realize that Rula's not going to make it and Joellen calms down a little bit, Kelsey gives out boxes to all of the ladies with their names on it for them to write questions about each other. And Kelsey apparently had this great idea because she says she's tired of people talking about her relationship. I hate people like this. You're in a controversial relationship that is polyamory. It is. And you don't want anybody to talk about your relationship, but you're in a relationship that people can't help but to talk about, Kelsey. So I don't know what the hell to tell you. But the rumor about Rosie sleeping with a basketball coach was one of the questions. I'm not going to go over all of them. And I'm like, wait a minute, because what come out of this was apparently Rhode Island has a big swinging community. We already know that Joellen and her husband have done a threesome, and some of these other ladies have been open to it. So apparently they have a big swinging community in Rhode Island, which does not surprise me. For whatever reason, it just doesn't surprise me. But I found that to be odd. Now, it comes out at the end of this dinner that Kelsey has 2 boyfriends. So all these rumors about her that she's complaining and so emotional about people talking about are true, which explains why she's so fucking bothered by them, because every rumor about her is true. So Kelsey says she has a second boyfriend, and the reason she has a second boyfriend is because the main boyfriend that she's been with for 10 years, who she only sees half the year, who plays for her life, he don't want no kids or marriage. He probably got a different hoe in every city he traveled to for work. So he don't want kids or marriage. Kelsey, now that she's 31, she says she does want kids. She does want marriage. And the second boyfriend is going to give that to her. Kelsey, you're never going to get kids or a marriage if the way that you go about them is doing things the opposite of what you would do for kids in a marriage. You want kids in a marriage, then you have to date monogamously. I don't even take marriages seriously, where people be like, oh, I have an open marriage. Oh, so basically you're that person that's married for paperwork, because ain't no way. Ain't no way. If that's the case, why get married if you're going to have an open marriage? That's the part I don't understand. That's the part I don't understand. But I found that to be odd. I found that to be extra odd. So another situation comes up that the ladies discuss at the table, and it was the previous event that Rosie had with the charcuterie on the beach for her little local TV show. And it comes up that Joellen mentioned Kelsey's relationship. And Joellen immediately tried to deny it, but welcome to TV, bitch, because you can deny all you want. But when you're on camera or in front of women, if the women aren't calling you out, the camera and the audience will, Joellen, and nobody will forget. So you better learn how to tell the truth on TV, girl, because Joellen did bring up the topic. And, you know, I was actually impressed because Rosie did make it clear, like, she wasn't bringing it up to like talk about you bad. She wasn't being messy, but she is how the topic came up. And Joellen claims that she stopped the conversation when it happened, which she did do. But if we go back to my first review, y'all remember, I felt like she stopped it just so that she could be seen stopping it. But I think she knew that it wouldn't stop the conversation, because if you're showing up to an event with some people that you don't like, why would you talk about your best friend? Why would you bring her up? Like, that's crazy to me. So everybody at the table holds Joellen accountable, and you know, she ends up apologizing to Kelsey, which she was lucky that Kelsey accepted her apology, but it just shows if Joellen's caught and stuff, she's going to try to lie. And so I hope that everybody at the table has paid attention, because anybody smart on this show, I would never be with Joellen alone. I want to witness every time I'm around people like her, because she'll tell you a lie, laugh. She just seems messy. She just seems messy, miserable, and insecure. I don't know why, but she's coming off that way. So does Rosie. Rosie also comes off as messy, insecure, and, you know, a little neurotic. But at least Joellen and Kelsey, you know, she did give her friend an apology. Her friend accepted. So later, something comes up about Liz having a weird friendship with her male friend Dino. I guess like they're talking about this as a way to say like rumors come about, people just be thinking things. And Dino was handsome, more handsome than Liz's husband. And apparently Liz says her husband took up the sport of sport fishing, and it requires him to be gone sometimes 4 out of 5 days a week, and she's alone. And she says during that time, she spent the time with her friend Dino. She said, yes, she could see how it looks, but she's like, it is what it is. And Liz feels a way about Alicia bringing up this concern in her friendship with Dino, because she's just like, you're supposed to be my friend and you know this is a rumor, but why are you bringing it up? It does seem like Alicia's just bringing stuff up and putting it out on the table for us. Like, and I appreciate that because she's giving us a show. But then at the same time, if we're looking at it from the perspective of Alicia being a friend, it's like, girl, why are you just throwing stuff out there about her marriage? I feel like Liz and Kelsey are good friends because they probably both have similar relationships. I think the only difference is Liz's man is home more often. Liz's man has married her. But I could definitely see how Liz and her husband have played around back and forth with each other, which Rula also had mentioned earlier in the scene where they were together. So I feel like there's a lot about Liz that's going to come out that's probably I think people are thinking, oh, she's an easy target. She doesn't care. But it's like, if Liz wanted us to know, we would know. But it is making sense now why she's friends with Kelsey. But the episode ends there, you guys. It was a good episode 2. I'm not bored. I didn't feel like it slowed down. Curious about episode 3. It looks like it's going to be a really good season of the Housewives of Rhode Island. I'm glad I picked up this show. I also wanted to say thank you to everybody who watches my channel, whether you're new here, subscribe here, don't subscribe here. Thank you for checking and tapping in with our Housewives of Rhode Island review. It is a new show. I did check the schedule on my YouTube TV. It does look like the Housewives of Rhode Island is going to be airing on Sundays. So I will be here on Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, covering the show every week. James will be with us. He does work in a factory and is also working on a multi-state move. He's moving across the country. So he may miss some of our Rhode Island reviews, but he should be here for most of them. It's just going to be for a couple of weeks. Really, the rest of April and May, he's going to be up and down with schedule. I did post a schedule for what will come next on my channel. Tomorrow we'll have 90 Day The Single Life. I may also pick up some Netflix documentaries or some stuff that looks interesting to cover. Let me know. Other than that, you guys, I have a lot on my channel. I'll post the schedule for everyone to see on YouTube as well. Let me know how y'all feel about things in the comments. Don't be afraid to like the video, subscribe. Also, welcome to our new subscribers. We're at 787. We are on the road to 1,000, and I'm almost at 800. So I really appreciate all of you. But other than that, I thank y'all. And I hope y'all have a good night. And yes, Shanny girl, he got that hat to the back. Anywho, peace out, beautiful people. I'll see y'all tomorrow.